Radio. NFM Radio.
Right, welcome to the show, Akwaba Ubia.
NFM Radio.
This is a beautiful, beautiful Monday evening here in the UK. For those of you outside of the UK, I got to tell you that it is a bank holiday, what we call a bank holiday. Bank holiday means holiday. In this God-forsaken land where money is everything, there is no title to any holiday like Independence Day or Father's Day, I mean, whatever holiday it is, because of their own diabolics, they only say that it's a bank holiday. That means banks are closed. You see what I mean? So it's a holiday here in the UK. I know most of you guys, lots of people I know have been, they've gone to celebrate what we call the carnival at the Notting Hill, that area in West London. Very charismatic, very flowery, what we call pretty, very beautiful, colorful sort of activity. I think it goes on for 3 days. Today will be the last one. Carnival people are there. Some of you are listening to me on your iPhones or whatever you have. Some of you too, you are tired, you have enjoyed, you have partied a lot, and you feel very tired. Is this Sanahini Bar? What's the name? Sanahini Bar Black Coffee. That lady, principled lady who decided not to continue with Akufo-Addo's governance when she was given an appointment to go and join the Ghana, the tourist board in Ghana, and she saw the sort of activity that went on, the sort of money wasting and everything else. So she decided not to be part of it. She's not, well-to-do. She's not rich, but she decided not to corrupt her country. So she left the tourist activities, came back to England. You see, these are some of the committed, highly principled sort of human beings that we need to try to reshape, our country's future or destiny. So as it is, we say hello to Madam Blackovi. And all of you beautiful, beautiful women out there, I love you all, you know it. Kukwa, it's a long time ahead of you, Madam Gardner, Dachi Hima of the MPP fraternity, all of you, I love my women. So you are all welcome to the show. Mansa Musa, I'm ready to rock and roll. Tonight we will be, if everything goes well, thank you. If everything goes well, we will have Ani Ampafo. Thank you. Ani Ampafo on the line or on Zoom to come explain to us the dynamics, what has gone on during the NPP primaries. Then, if you remember, a gentleman called Saidu Abubakar, he was known to be, in inverted commas, a notorious gang leader in Kumasi. And the story came to pass that he was part of a group, a gang that kidnapped the Canadian students who had gone to Ghana on holidays. And he was part of the kidnapped group. He was arrested, I think jailed, and later released as though nothing has happened. Recently, he has come out speaking to journalists, media people in Ghana, and he has agreed. What Peneso say, only we casa ewo diaspora, if you know what I mean. So, not much. Okay, thank you. So that is what we have for tonight. It's all about the NPP primaries. Now, the story is going about. It's all about accusations as we speak. Kennedy Japan and okay, thank you. Mr. Kennedy Japan and Hobson Adoye have been summoned to go and answer questions to the NPP hierarchy. They have been summoned to go and answer questions. Whatever it is, they have been summoned to go and answer. We will explain, we will discuss it. And yeah, so, say, okay, thank you. Another thing is that this man, what is his name? The same Adoye guy is telling Ghanaians to be very, very wary of the what do you call it? Chief of staff at the Flagstaff House. That woman, I've forgotten her name. He said we should be very, 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 okay, thank you. We should be very wary about her because apparently by Adoye's own words, that woman is corrupt. Then we have Mr. Kennedy Japan also shouting near obscenities, which I think he is not very happy about how some things have gone on, and that he will organize a showdown. What sort of showdown we are yet to see. So we have a lot to discuss. Or say corrupt chief of staff wants to be vice president. Hopes in Adoyena Ekawi. And also we should be very careful too because our kind of saying the Sikana Ekoji fee IMF, according to Hopes, no chira say Sikano ashi. Sikana shi. Sikana shu ashi. Sikana shi. So, okay. Then we will listen to somebody like Untumi trying to explain the issue or the reason why Kennedy Japan te praka na okasa kasano. Mr. What do you call it? Untumi try to explain. But honestly speaking, Untumi kasa menijepa everybody clip no. But before I be boss a clip, you could tie Mami way every Cape Coast. Asema oka. Mami way free Cape Coast. Mami and Kasa. Okay.
The outcome of the special delegates conference that was held last Saturday to strip down the number of flag bearer aspirants to 5. Now, the election, as witnessed, was marred with a number of issues among some aspirants, with some seen issuing threats to others on viral videos on social media.
President Akufo, member will show down. Vice President, member will show down.
And the committee says necessary punitive measures will be taken against aspirants who attack fellow aspirants.
Any aspirant, any agent who would make it his own bona fide of waging war against the party will be sanctioned. By saying war against the party, I specifically mean that no member should make it a point to attack any member, alienated member, merely for disagreeing with a particular matter.
Briefing the press, spokesperson of the committee, Afenyo Marking, expressed the party's resolve to summon all 10.
Hang on, Afenyo Marking, what kind of word be that? Bona fide. What sort of word is bona fide? Okay, yebebaho, anyway. Obeka so a lawyer and our being.
We want to hear them. We have heard of certain allegations in the media. For the sake of the party's well-being, for the sake of the unity of the party, we have taken it upon ourselves to again say that all such individuals are to appear before us, so that by tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., we'll be here.
Concerning Alan Tremante's latest statement in which he lamented the attack of his polling agent, the committee has decided to meet with him personally to resolve his grievances.
We have become aware that one of the aspirants raised certain issues. Apart from the main meeting with all the aspirants, that aspirant is also going to be invited for a one-on-one engagement to listen to him in respect of the specific issues that he raised.
For now, the party might have to prepare for another delegates' congress if none of the aspirants who tied in the 5th position steps down. Judith Awotritando, TV3 News, MPP Headquarters, Accra.
Meanwhile, a political scientist, Professor Ransford Jampo, has criticized the New Patriotic Party over its approach in dealing with persons who allegedly...
Right, so it's a bona fide. I want to maintain here, no. Let's see what is happening here. Okay, let's see if we can get this.
The decision to refer Kennedy Ejapon to the party's disciplinary committee for allegedly misconducting himself during the Super Delegate Congress has raised concerns.
Right.
Some analysts have argued that his comment did not constitute an insult or a threat to demand summons by the party. Political scientist at the University of Ghana, Professor Ransford Jampo, says the NPP must not be selective in handling disciplinary cases. He is concerned about the seeming aggressive nature in which the party deals with certain individuals when they breach its rules.
You dragging somebody before a disciplinary committee is not tantamount to the person being guilty. I do not see how telling somebody that I'm going to give you a showdown amounts to burning a party. I don't, in my mind, I don't see how it amounts to anything. The party must be seen to be fair in handling some of these things.
Well, he has also raised concerns about the manner in which the party presented the outcome of the Super Delegate Congress. According to him, the party shouldn't have placed people in order of merit. He says there's only leaves a room for people to make prejudicial comment.
The party may want to review the electoral processes to reflect the recommendation that in future, the outcome of superdelegate elections should not be announced in any order of merit. You do not use this superdelegates, the outcome of superdelegate election as a basis for anything.
While urging the party to elect a legitimate candidate for the 2024 elections, he says the top 3 flag-bearer aspirant must not be complacent.
My advice to all of them is that nobody can afford to be complacent and nobody can also afford to be discouraged.
Christian Yale, TV3 News, University of Ghana, Accra.
Meanwhile, Kennedy Japon's campaign team is fighting back over allegations of attacks on its agents. The team says it will file a formal petition with the New Patriotic Party regarding such attacks during the Super Delegates Conference. Campaign manager and former head of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Kwame Owusu.
Right, so these are some of the headlines. In fact, they are live as we speak. It's still going on in Ghana. Let's come back here. But you see, the whole thing is that Akufo-Addo has now come out to say that he will win the next election, for the NPP. And when you listen to such such remarks, one wonders how that is going to be possible. Let's go and listen to one Cape Coast woman who is fed up with all things.
Relegation, okay. Yellow relegation, by 20 years, break the 8, break the chump. You break the 8 now, you break the chump. Young quarrel, yeah, Messi, young break a shade. Because this Salano, and for the bread, and for the Cassan. Yako round simple and two Cache. Yako yen may guassing. I don't know who is Dr. Baumia or not can no work as a bottom. Also, can no can I guess a bottom. This over say can they people 1 for 10 candidates in Amara against Mahama. They will still lose. Say 2 point Casa. You get some point, JJ. But Central Region Montpellier for no or man to Abanama Baumia. Why young was your phone? Must the relegation. You walk up back at Wise Nazakis. Okay. Yellow relegation, by 20 years, break the 8, break the chump. You break the 8 now, you break the chump. Young quarrel, yeah, Messi, young break a shade. Because this Salano, and for the bread, and for the Cassan. Yako round simple and two Cache. Yako yen may guassing. I don't know who is Dr. Baumia or not can no work as a bottom. Also, can no can I guess a bottom. This over say can they people 1 for 10 candidates in Amara against Mahama. They will still lose. Say 2 point Casa. You get some point, JJ. But Central Region Montpellier for no or man to Abanama Baumia. Why young was your phone? Must the relegation. You walk up back at Wise Nazakis. Okay. Yellow relegation, by 20 years, break the 8, break the chump.
Hey! Mami, hey, Cape Coast Besia, Asamali King, join you, about some cranny. Cape Coast Besia, wait, let me cool down a bit with Mr. Uncle Kwesi Pride. Kwesi, Enkwe.
West Africa, which is made up of 16 countries, and all of these countries today are in the embrace of neo-colonial exploitation and oppression. And is one of the richest regions in the world. You find everything in West Africa. And in spite of all of these riches, many of our people cannot afford a meal a day. Many of our people have no access to education. They have no access to housing. They have no access to healthcare. How come that we are so poor in the midst of so much riches? Because we no longer own our resources, and our resources are not exploited for the benefit of our people.
That is refreshing. That was refreshing. Mr. Kwesi Pratt telling us what is all wrong with West Africa. Kwesi, let's go again.
West Africa, which is made up of 16 countries, and all of these countries today are in the embrace of neo-colonial exploitation and oppression. And is one of the richest regions in the world. You find everything in West Africa. And in spite of all of these riches, many of our people cannot afford a meal a day. Many of our people have no access.
Kwesi, oye. You see, the point is, you've said it all. Let's go and listen to Wontumi. Wontumi said something somewhere. Let's see if I can get it.
If Kwame Owusu here.
Kwame Owusu was here in Kumasi.
He was here. He was in charge here.
But how do you know Kwame Owusu made the call to Kennedy?
Because I was there like this.
Oh, I see.
I'm a regional chairman. I'm close to him.
So you heard Kwame Owusu telling Kennedy that Yapami and Crawford no back Upper East.
Kwame Owusu talked to Kennedy every 5-10 minutes.
About Ashanti.
About Ashanti and everywhere. You know, Kwame Usu is the
coordinator, yeah.
Coordinator for all. So he report. You see, sometimes it's not about what have happened that is the problem, but how you respond to it. That makes it as a problem. Kennedy is asset, and I'm telling you that is why I mentioned 4 people. I mentioned his name before me. He's my senior brother.
And you consider him as an asset to the party?
He's asset. Why not? Kennedy is asset.
So Kennedy is asset, Kwame Japon is asset, Wontumi is asset, Joe Gate is asset, Boache Jacko is asset, Alan Chermate is asset.
Everybody is asset. But if that time Alan didn't go to the elections like this, then we was talking about Bawumia and Alan. But now that Kennedy is second, but we are going to talk about Bawumia and Kennedy. That is the truth. You want to hear the truth?
So you say Alan, by being third today, has finished?
I'm not saying it. Don't put it like that. Don't put it like that. Don't put it like that. But to me, if I was him, I won't give Kennedy chance like that to compete with me.
You mean Alan should have made sure he defeated Kennedy?
Not like that. I won't contest. I would have gone for Oseche Mensa offer. If not, you see, it's like the Putin and the Ukraine one. Before everybody thinks Russia, once they come in cold like this, now everybody thinks now Ukraine is a hero. So if there's no dissent, everybody will know that, if Alan would have, this is what
Also, if you to your uncle, we put him at number 4 in all our analysis.
Yeah.
And he came.
The very first time I tried night
Right, so
shred, I knew this was going to.
So that is what Mr. Wontumi is all about.
Shred, I knew this was going to change my life.
Right, so Wontumi explained everything. And now Wontumi, if you tackle Wontumi with English, then you are looking for it. He will also come out with his type of explanation, Wontumi type of speaking. Anyway, you are listening to Mansa Musa. The program is Fire Will Burn You. I'm waiting for my guest to arrive from Accra via the Zoom. So keep listening. And if you have anything to say or ask or to do anything you want to do, quickly just make sure you can call me and we continue. What's it?
Why Must the relegation. You walk back at Wise Nazakes. Okay. You look for relegation. By 20 years. Break the 8th. Break the chump. You break the 8th now, you break the chump. Young quarrel, yeah, Missy, young break a shade. Because this Salano, and go for the bread, and go for the Cassan. Yako rounds and go into Munkashi. Yako, you may guassing. Adamu is Dr. Baumia or. Ah, no, that's a canoe. Na kana waka sugotem. Ota kana mlakana ga sugotem. Sizo ba sai kana puli people 1 for 10 candidates ni na amra against Mahama they will still lose. Say to pon kasa. Ya kasa pon jeje. Ba central region mo panyu for no o ma to abanama ba womia bu. Wa yan kwasi ya fo. Must the relegation. Ya bako bakada wise na azake.
Right. Mami nanu yedi ewo central region ho or say ombeko relegation like Wise and Hazakis. What I will say is that if any one of you want to say something either on Zoom or on telephone, wherever, you are always welcome. And like they say, I will make sure the line is connected and it is ready for you. So if you want to come and speak live on the show, please do come and I'll let you speak. Like I say, either on radio, on the telephone, or on Zoom. You can get me on New Face Media YouTube, and you can get me on NFM Radio on Facebook. So Facebook, YouTube, I'm live and I am kicking. Anyway, like I said, I'm waiting for response from my two guests. In fact, Madam Annie Ampofo, who happens to be a presenter on TV, Metro TV in Ghana. She will come earlier on. Then later on, I will get that gang leader who was accused of being among the people who kidnapped the Canadian students. You remember that case? Mr. Seydou Abubakar. Now he's speaking to everybody who wants to listen. So we too, we want to listen to him to ask what exactly happened, that kidnapping, why was he accused or charged, and why now he's been released free and that he hasn't done anything, and why now he's demanding monies from the NPP, or say NPP forces on omohodia and omonfa nisika mano, which is fair enough. I mean, this is fair. So we say me nkahwa, I'm not part of the party, and then misika I want muhono. If it's true that there's money there, then you should bring it. Okay, thank you very much. So you, like I said to everybody, if you want to ask me something okay, somebody said, Mansa Musa, your microphone. Right, the Zoom link, I think I forgot to open the microphone. So if you want to join again, please do join and let's talk. I've now opened the Zoom microphone. So I'm sure I can hear you and you can also hear me. Yes, I'm very sure you can hear me as I can also hear you. Right, so according to Hobson Adoye say, Frema, your friend is saying, Frema, the chief of staff or war, let me find a story because I cannot just say without reading the proper thing. Meanwhile, Kufuor has come out to say, I will win 2024 election for MPP. Kufuor, your own people are trying to avoid you. They are trying to avoid your name. They are trying to get you out of their discussion completely. And I won't say because the moment you say that, you spoil things for them. According to Mr. Hobson, you say some delegates were paid $5,000. That is 100,000 cedis for Baumia, to vote for Baumia. You see, in all this, look, ya can't Ghana no. I just say for Obia Hubium. Just say Obia and Adrian say the Obaswa try say Ubesubenya Osikani bina wedi. Now I know that me yano because me to who say Sabi the way I brofuni dear sunoa almost see almost say a good year you know ye be bia de ko eko ye omoma ye no ebe twaso sa because penny for no bia nya na adwen say obe gina ho pintin age o man race for here or say a member of Alan Chairman flag bearership campaign has alleged that money played a major part in the just ended superdelegate conference of the NPP. Hobson Adoye made a number of explosive revelations at the NPP headquarters on August 26 after the votes had been counted and declared. The headquarters was the 17th voting center along with 16 regional centers. Adoye claimed that huge sums of monies in foreign and local currencies exchanged hands as part of inducement for votes in favor of President Mahamudu Bawumia, or Vice President, so to speak. In this election, he said, and I quote, money played a role. Money played a role. We are unafraid in making these claims. You could give someone $5,000. What are you talking about? We also shared money, he admitted when pressed by journalists. but whose was bigger? You see? So he, Adoye Hobson is saying that some people paid monies. And he's claiming and admitting that they also, that is their group, also paid monies. And so the whole thing is that, thank you. The whole thing is that, nothing can be trusted to be genuine anymore. Now politicians in Ghana know that citizens are ready to collect money and vote for you. And the notion that citizens expect any politician to work on their behalf, to create good environment, to create jobs, to improve on the economy and everything, that one is a secondary matter. And that individual citizens have decided that you pay us the money and you get our votes. That is sad indeed. That is really sad. According to this Hobson Adoye once more, he said, corrupt chief of staff wants to be vice president. Now he's saying that the chief of staff at the Flagstaff House, Hobson Adoye, a leading member of the Alan Chamantin group, has alleged corruption on the part of the chief of staff, Akosia Frema Osaye Opare. You see, all these people, they have double barrel names, double names, fourple names, triple names. Akosia Frema Osaye Opare, all these people. Adoye, in a rant at the NPP headquarters during the August 26th Superdelegate Conference, made two explosive allegations against the chief of staff, who voted along with about 200 others at the venue. The first of his allegations, as captured by journalists, was that Osaye Opare was working in favor of Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia because she has aspirations of becoming a vice president under the future President Bawumia. I am saying that people who have been in the government for these years, they are even old ladies, they still want to continue. So do you think she is going to vote in a certain direction? He quizzed when asked about Alan's performance in the polls. An old lady wants to be vice president. How much more the young ones? When pushed about who this old lady was, he referred the chief of staff, citing an electoral malpractice allegation. Chief of staff was here giving money to people. Are we afraid? What I fear, I don't talk about. So, you see, everybody is now talking. We can't wait. Then Akufo-Addo say he will win for the party. So perhaps Akufo-Addo doesn't realize that the party itself don't want him near anything. Akufo-Addo doesn't know, simply does not seem to know, or he doesn't realize that his image, his what do we call it? His brand is so damaged. His brand, aye bisi basa, aye senka, we be cancer onimwa, and kobeye din what nani baby. It is a Akufo-Addo bano be kase or no na be breaki 8 na ma. Thank you. Or no be breaki 8 ama MPP for 2024. Also, how do you understand this? I'll try and see if I can get one of the local MPP people here in the UK to come and answer.
NFM Radio.
Yes.
Sydney Discotheque, verano del 79, con la mejor música del mundo.
Oye. Anoma koliwa 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 anoma koliwa. Anoma koliwa 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 anoma koliwa. Anoma koliwa 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 anoma koliwa. Anoma koliwa 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 anoma koliwa.
And the Makoliwa, see Uja. Right, you're listening to Mansa Musa, and the program is simple like that. It's called Fire will Burn You. Though not literally. It is just that if you come, you speak well, you talk well, then you are safe. If you don't talk well, then maybe fire will burn you.
I've said it, and I'll repeat it again. Those who are coming to this administration thinking that it's an avenue for making a lot of money are going to be disappointed. They better go to the private sector. That is where people make money, not in government.
The Bank of Ghana committing to that project?
I don't have the figure offhand, sir.
The figure for your headquarters?
I don't have a figure off my head, sir. That's what I'm saying.
$250 million. Are you committing $250 million to that project?
I don't have the full complement of the figures at this moment.
Mr. Randolph, you are the Director of Finance of the Bank of Ghana. This is a major project that will shake the balance book of every organization. You should have that figure of head. How much are you committing to your head office building? We know it is $250 million. Can you confirm that?
abusan for me chacha obi bia. Muntie mare husemu bi mame. School na ya mi twai. Eye Nagode DAJHS. Ewo Ashanti region. Na ewo Nyinahini. Eye ye mami sisira da panso ofri impesetia. Nti ewo ye mami sisira da pa constituency mo. School we monhwe school dan ya enkwada ekom. School we eni ba bia wo Ashanti region ewo. Atwuma mponwa. Ena school we wo na go the DAJHS. Ene the primary enie. Momienhwe arehosem. Oba besia atumi akuku sika ente se eda so ewo dem na baby a wo free the constituency baby a wo free suku a adan a enkwada ekom enie eye arehosem papa Ghana de se wanhwe yi ne wanhwe yi a anhwe a obekasa etia mpanimfo school dan no enie school dan a enkwada ekomu school amehwe abrana no kromba school ha nti ombo date on the 3rd data ombo ni 3rd August eye anano Thursday no emisumba school ewa ha eye arehuse monhwe roofing baby a school for etie na oba besia atimi apagye sika enti se na eda oda so ewo edem na Ghana for ye di emobo hwe
right. So mo pesa sound bite we no mo petie bebre no yen fancy hosana yen kwenim. I did promise that tonight we'll have one of the the face of television, one of the prominent faces of television in Ghana. We've got her to come and speak to us, with us, explain what is going on and what has happened. In respect of the recently finished elections, primaries for the NPP group. She goes by the name, beautiful name, Annie Ampofo. Madam Annie Ampofo, good evening. Welcome to NFM Radio.
Good evening, Mansa Musa. Thanks for having me. I hope you're well.
Well, I don't know. Yesterday, your big brother, I overindulged, so I've got half of my, anatomy not really in good shape. I danced. People were urging me to dance beautifully at the this carnival. We had bank holiday carnival. You know what it means. If you Google, you see it. And I done so much thinking I'm impressing everybody. Now, Mrs. Yachia. But apart from that, I'm okay.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
now?
I can hear you now. Okay. Yes, I can hear you now. I was not too clear earlier.
Okay. Sorry about that. I said, yeah, I'm fine. Only that I went to a party, the carnival party here in London.
Oh, that's great for you.
No.
Oh, interesting.
No, I overdanced and now Missy Achia, because I was dancing and people were urging me on. I thought I was impressing everybody. But so if you ask me how I am, perhaps if I'm going 100 meters with your big brother Randy, maybe this time he will beat me.
Well, you never know.
You see.
But I hope all is well. Yeah.
Right. Annie, let's go straight to the point, as you are so busy, girl. Let's go straight to the point. This NPP primaries, the first round has come and gone. Was there any surprises? You think the outcome, anything that has shocked Ghanaians, or any surprises? Or it is all what we anticipated?
Well, I would say not necessarily what we anticipated. let me give you 3 top surprises that people had, or shocks that people had. So the first shock definitely has to do with Alan Kojo Chermating and Honorable Member of Parliament Kennedy.
Annie, one second. My
Yes.
producer is asking me that I've got the Zoom link. So
Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, but my producer is telling me that we have a Zoom, live Zoom. So why don't we put you on a Zoom? And it is much safer because WhatsApp, somebody can call or, interruptions and here and there. If I send you the link, can you just link up quickly? It is easier.
I'm inconvenienced at the moment, but we can try.
Yeah, even if we don't see your face, that's fine. But because that is more reliable than just the call. Someone even called me and it nearly interrupted us. So if we can, should I give you the link? I'll send you the link. Just try. It's easy. Sure. Just tap on the link, come in without your face, but I would like to see your beautiful face anyway. Then we will talk, okay?
Okay, that's fine. We'll try it. We can try it.
Cheers. Right, so yeah, let me resend this link to Madame Annie Ampofo. She is the face of TV, Metro TV with Mr. Dr. Randy Abbey. Those of you who watch Good Morning Ghana, you see that she actually conducts the Monday, the Monday event or the Monday part of the program. In fact, I think this morning she hosted the program. Annie Ampofo. So I've sent her the link, the Zoom link. Let's see if we can get her on the Zoom. Then we can do a lot of clear and good conversation. The Zoom is much, much better than just calling. We are listening to Mansa Musa. So if you want to join me either on the Zoom or by telephone or via anything that you want to join me. Okay, so yeah, Ambrose, you know what you're talking about, Dr. Manshia. Yeah, it's Good Morning Ghana, that lady I'm talking about. So I'm waiting for her to join me on Zoom, then we'll take it from here. You're listening to Mansa Musa, and the program is Fire Will Burn You.
Menua, see Fire Will Burn You, NFM Radio, Jumedia Mansa Musa ede bro, Juada kopem memneda, and on song, kopem non do.
Right, so yes. Right, okay. Let's go straight onto the Zoom to speak to Madam Annie Ampofo. Right, now I can see you loud and clear, and that's beautiful. Annie, welcome to the show. Annie, can you hear me? Annie, can you hear me? Check your microphone. Check your microphone. Can you hear me? Hello, Annie, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Talk to me. Talk to me. Hello? Okay, let me check the... Hello, Annie, can you hear me?
Hi, am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so now let's get on with it. Yes, so you were about to tell us the dynamics, what we expected or the surprises and everything. So take it away, please. Take it away.
Right. So I started by saying that there are about 3 different surprises pertaining to the result of the election itself. The first one had to do with definitely Alan Kojo Chermating and Kennedy Ejapong. Most polls were projecting more of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Alan Kojo-Kyerematen, with Kennedy Agyapong coming fourth, which I think the last poll we had from Global Info Analytics, that was about June, July, was showing that Kennedy Agyapong was a third force coming up. So you can tell that between June, July, and August, Kennedy Agyapong was able to, work his way up. And obviously, with the results that we saw, he definitely overtook some of the supporters that probably earlier on were gunning for Alan Kyerematen. So that is what you saw, or that's one surprise that people realized that, well, that was a smart one played by Kennedy Agyapong. The second surprise, I would say, was the Kwabena Agyapong, who actually didn't show mostly in the top five. I would say didn't show in the top five at all, because when he first actually launched his campaign, we had a lot of people who thought that his message was resounding and quite sound. I think it was very accommodating by a lot of supporters, I would say, or Ghanaians who listened to him and thought that he was coming in with fresh ideas, which were laudable. So the fact that he didn't show in the top five was also another shock for party supporters and some Ghanaians as well. The third one, definitely it being the super delegate, we expected that let's just go with the top five and get it done with. And it just so happens that two of the aspirants, happen to have been on a tie. And so we're expecting that another election will be run on them. And then a final decision will be taken, and that is Adainimo and Mr. Kyerematen. So those are the three top surprises, I think, that shocked people. As for the votes garnered by His Excellency Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, it was not so much of a surprise, because he was always pitched. The polls always put him in the lead. As to the numbers, I don't think it was so much of a surprise. People knew that he was going to win, and so that wasn't a surprise. So those were the top three surprises, I would say. Kennedy Agyapong, Adainimo, and Mr. Boakye Agyapong, being on the tie. Boakye Agyapong being on the tie, and also Kwabena Agyapong not showing in the top five.
We will come to the Kwabena Agyapong factor. Some will say it's for the intellectuals to mull over why, or the answer is very obvious, that people are not that articulate, to appreciate something that is much more matured or much more, I don't have to speak on behalf of anyone, but we'll come there. But let me ask you, okay, explain to us, we in diaspora and we those who don't know this, the system very well. Now the super delegates have voted. Who are these super delegates? Some are saying these are civil servants who might have been influenced by the fact that they work for government and that they were likely to veer to somebody's direction or something. The super delegate, who are they, and what happens next?
So the number of persons that voted in the super delegates were about 920 something. I'm not so sure of the number. I think over 900, I would say, to be safe. And mostly it had to do with, I'm so sure it is why the title super delegates probably was placed on them, because maybe would say it's because of the top hierarchy, executives of the party, some ministers, officials, top officials. And so if you listen to the analysis that came through, you would see that people, some analysts would say that the super delegates was held in a way that would whip people in line, so that if you have the top officials voting now and the vote is showing that they're voting largely in favor of vice president, then it was automatic that it's expected that these when it's open to the larger grassroots delegates proper, they will know the line the party is towing, and so they will vote in that line. So there are allegations that they thought that it looked like a whipping mode to whip everybody.
Your microphone is gone. Check your microphone, please.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I actually had a call coming through, so that also interfered a bit.
Interesting.
So that's what I think I wanted to say, that because it was selected, the super delegates are top officials of the party. I don't know if I had the documents. I will just read them for you to know who made up the super delegates. But it's, even though it's across the country, all 16 regions, they are top officials, including ministers, including members of parliament, including officials of either presidency or government appointees, or I'll say party appointees. So those are and then party executives as well. So those are the crust of the super delegates. So it's not everybody who makes up the party electoral college itself. It's just a selection. And so when we go to the polls on November 4, we're going to have a larger electoral college. But this electoral college for the super delegates was over 900. I think I have to get the figure right for you. But as your next question, I'll provide that.
Okay. So when we get to 4th of November, as you say, over 900 people will vote to select the overall candidate or winner. What should we Ghanaians, what should we expect? Do you think this particular result, as we've had, is anything to go by, in terms of measuring what might happen come November 4th?
What might happen? When polls are conducted, they are conducted pertaining to the timing that we're in. But should anything happen, there's a possibility of it changing, or affecting the polls, or affecting how the trend is going. So it could be that maybe some corruption allegation will come up and it might affect the polls. It could be that maybe some government poor performance in something will happen, and it might change persons' minds on how it's going. It could be that the campaign strategy of maybe the largest opposition will change, and it can win people over. So even the opposition NDC cannot relent on its efforts of trying to snatch power from the incumbent government, because it's very difficult to snatch power from incumbency. Incumbency has the power, incumbency have the resources, they marshal almost everything. So you cannot be how do we put it? We use this word. I can't remember the word. Complacent. We can't be complacent, or opposition cannot be complacent and think that they have everything under wraps. Just because people say the economy is hard, you have won the election. It doesn't work that way. You really will have to work for it. You really will have to research. You really will have to prove beyond reasonable doubts, not just people going through economic crisis, that this is the reason, or these are the reasons why I think that this government is not performing, and you have to vote for me. Because remember that you have also been in power before. You have proven to the people what you can do. And so you have a responsibility of going beyond what you've done before and letting them live a real life, even though it's just a word you're giving the people. Anything can change. If Baumia wins, for example, Baumia can win election 2024 and they will break the 8 as the party says. If Alan Chimating, from the analysis appears, and I would say from the polls conducted by Global Info Analytics, on a national level, Alan appeals more to Ghanaians or the Ghanaian voter than Dr. Baumia. But in the party, Dr. Baumia appears more appealing to the voter than Alan Chimating. So it's up to the party to decide. But you see that the dynamics of campaign is changing. And so how Kennedy Ejapong is also coming into to break this dual jinx, it's obvious that he can cause a problem. What if Kennedy Ejapong emerges the winner and becomes a flag bearer of the party? Is the party also considering that? Do Ghanaians know what Kennedy Ejapong is made of? Can they actually trust him if he wants to be president, considering all the issues surrounding him and the albatross on his neck that he's gone around explaining, almost every time? So, the dynamics really, you cannot predict now because, and I would say Kennedy Ejapong is a changing factor for now. He's now really has become a force to reckon with in both sides, either Dr. Baumia or Alan Chimating.
Okay. I want us to explore a bit more about the aftermath when everything is done and dusted and now is between NDC and PP. And in order to remove any ambiguity, you were referring to is that you were talking about the NDC and how they should not think, a win is a must and quickly for them. So I will clear that obfuscation for everyone. Let me still ask you about what has happened, the politics of what has just gone on with the accusations and counter accusations here and there, with a lot of how do I say it, negative narratives coming out as to some people being corrupt here and there. Someone did something some time ago, someone being part of the Akufo-Addo failure, so we shouldn't listen to him. To them. What do you make of what has transpired in terms of narrative? Do we have to just ignore it as just political banter during the election, or you think it might have effect going forward?
It might have effect and that will depend on how oppositions will be doing their communication. And I think opposition has tried to, play to that narrative and pump it in the heads of Ghanaian voters that if you listen to each of them, of the candidates, all of them are preaching change. And I think that message has gone down well with Ghanaians. And so it would be, you'd see that there is an effort by each of them to clear that tag of preaching change, but want to convince the Ghanaian that, we have done well as a party, but I also have a vision that I want to, like in the case of Dr. Baumia, I think a couple of times he's tried to make it a point that he actually has a dream, he has a vision, and he wants to implement it as president. As vice president, you probably will not have the room to operate the way you want to operate. So the campaign, and maybe the MPP would describe it as propaganda of the opposition, is causing almost all of them to come out truthfully, to speak truth to power and speak truth to what they want from Ghanaians, you understand? So even to the extent that you'd have the likes of Kennedy Ejapong, who boldly spoke to issues of the economy, asked critical questions and told Ghanaians why he thought some of the decisions taken by the government was wrong. But it's good for him because he was not a part of the government. So I think he will enjoy some freedom when he calls government out. But apart from that, the rest cannot really speak so much about criticizing government. Alan has tried, but it's not working. I think, in my opinion, as a communication analyst, is not working. I think that Agric Minister Akoto Efriye has also tried, but he is not.
Let me ask you a bit there. Let me ask you, why do you think you said Alan has tried to somehow disassociate himself or try to come out to speak truth to power, to wash himself clean or something, and he said it's not working? Why do you think it's not working? Is it because he doesn't look sincere, or is it because he's not doing it louder and louder consistently? Before you answer, let me introduce you again. You are listening to Mansa Musa with Auntie, my very good friend Annie Ampofo. She is the face of Metro TV every Monday morning, Good Morning Ghana program, a presenter and a host. She is the one who has taken time off his schedule to come and speak to us in diaspora. We are very much, Ubikaye, we appreciate it so much. Yeah, so what do you think, Alan Chemanti, or those who want to speak the truth or come out as though it is not their fault, or they are being seen as just, cynical? I mean, so don't tell us what you are telling us. What is happening? Why are they not winning?
Yeah, it's your truth against the truth of what the people see. So you can't be speaking what you want to speak, but the people also can't think what they want to think. And politicians today must also know that the Ghanaian voter has grown, has matured, and has also been very much widely enlightened. So it's not easy to make certain comments and get away with it, because as you want to call out government, the question is, when did you resign from government? Why did you keep staying in government before you were asked to resign if you want to run for the flag bearership race? So you hear some analysis of even criticizing him for resigning too late. If you were in government and things were not going well and you were in a disagreement, the best for you to do or to have done was to have resigned, so that people know that I'm not happy with what's going on and I cannot be a party to it. But you cannot stay in government and be a minister all through, and then later when you want to run, you have to criticize the same government that you were a part of and played major role in terms of trade. In terms of trade, it has been a major debate within the economy when we consider trade issues. So what were you doing? I mean, what's our balance of trade today? What is the responsibility of the minister? Were you in charge? You understand? So that's just an example. But he, like I said, that's the language or the angle some of the analysts are going. It's better you accept that we were wrong, but I want to be president. And I think he's also benefiting from being around for some time and knowing that he's had this presidential ambition for a while. And by history, we know that at some point he gave up for Nana Akufo-Addo to go. And so I think that some of the party persons consider that, and they think that it's his time. You know that the NPP has this history or this culture of a Jew, so it's your time, so you have to go. But it looks like at some point Bawumia is trying to break that jinx to send a different message across, to the voter. Okay. So I think,
So let's come to the chase and say, let's settle with Bawumia. Bawumia as the flag leader. What is going to be his trump card, you think? What do you think is going to campaign on? Is it just the fact that, we are MPP, we are the better man? Or has he got anything to, how do I say it? How will he actually convince neutrals that it is true? Yesterday, even the president himself acknowledged that, yes, it is difficult for everyone. And the president rather, strangely said, well, the next NPP government, we're waiting for them to come and make things better. A bit strange for him to say that. But how will Bawumia sell the message? What do you think?
I honestly think that Dr. Bawumia is smart because you had 968 persons. You had 968 persons voting as delegates.
Sure.
Out of the 958. Out of 958, you had a person numbering 629.
Yeah.
629 voting for Dr. Bawumia. Dr. Bawumia must have been saying something right. There is a suspicion that even though Dr. Bawumia is vice president, expected to be the head of the economic management team, there's also another school of thought that we as journalists scoop from the party, that Ken Oforiatta and a couple of persons were taking major decisions in the party without the contribution of Dr. Bawumia. So at some point, you might even pick from the grapevine that there are some, confusion, loggerheads, and certain disputes within the party. But because an internal affair, unless it affects the nation, you can't really say much. So I want to believe that Dr. Bawumia played a very, very smart game to get more than 600 votes from the 958 delegates were supposed to vote. But that will still be argued out by some people who would say that that's because these were top officials or government appointees and all that.
Or these are NPP people. I mean, so
yes.
Obviously, yeah.
Yes. So, so in the party, he's done a good job by communicating well and making NPP attempt to break the jinx of Edru also. In the larger picture, I'm not sure, unless we wait for November 4, I'm not sure how the party is going to vote in his favor. Because with what Kennedy is saying, no matter the message you put across, Kennedy has already threatened that I'll give you a showdown. You know that this showdown, you'll not be comfortable with it. It's definitely going to dismantle your campaign. So, what message will you put
I am rather
across?
interested before we go into this final listen. Yeah, you brought up this showdown. Is it just hot air, just anger, or what do you anticipate? What do you deduce from that message? What sort of showdown? That there's something serious that he can go and he will tell Ghanaians to destroy Bawumia?
Not holding brief for Kennedy Japan, but I think Kennedy Japan many times blow hot air. I think many times he blows hot air. He knows the cameras are on him. He knows how to play politics. He knows when to catch the attention of the media, and he knows how to trend. And he uses that a lot. And so that's why you find that he has an albatross around his neck because of these hot air comments that sometimes he makes. But don't also underestimate him, that if you take it as hot air, he might take you for a surprise. Because some of the comments that he was even making during the campaign, we didn't expect that they would come from him, but they did. So you may want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but he may really give them a showdown. So you can couch all the messages you want, but if because we have not been able to confirm that Kennedy Japan was really responsible for Ahmed Swale's death, if he says he will do something, can Kennedy Japan really do it? Well, my answer is yes, even though I know that he blows hot air sometimes. Yes.
So
I mean, for him to one person who he doesn't like to be threatened. He doesn't like to be
one person who is not definitely not blowing hot air is Hobson Adoye, because he didn't come out to say, I will show you, encounter, we will meet on the bridge and all that. He went straight to at the jugular to say that some people are corrupt and that they have paid monies. How do you think that is going to play out in when it comes to the general election? Will Ghanaians just forget? In terms of, let me ask you broadly, in terms of all the issues that Ghanaians are facing, who do you think will fare better? For instance, when you say corruption, which of these people will come out boldly to say, hey, as for me, dear, you can't attach this to me, or what these guys, or the perception, whether true or not, I actually did, within the cabinet, I was against this, I was against that. I didn't want this sort of taxes to be enacted. I didn't want these policies, Japan, royalties I didn't support. Who do you think can come out a bit cleaner with all these issues?
I think the first thing I will pick will be Boakye Jackson. He will be my number one man who can really speak truth to power, and we will believe him, because we know what happened to him to the extent that he was actually sacked from government. What I don't understand is why he kept quiet this whole time until he's now speaking, But he is also one person that from our sources, he was able to challenge the president on every angle. That there's a deal coming up and he will call the president and say, no, I cannot sign this. I cannot do this. I will not do this. I will not do that. We picked up a lot of information about Boakye Jackon's working relationship with the president and some of the things he did and some of the bluff he called. And so I think he was a difficult person to work with in terms of what he was expected to do, but declined doing them. So I tip Boakye Jackson to be number one to speak truth to power. I didn't take Kennedy Japan because he is a regular person who's always blowing hot air. So sometimes you're not sure, what to believe. Do I believe that? But Boakye Jackson is not that person. So when a person who is not someone who is seen in that light is actually saying certain things, you are more, drawn to that person to believe what the person is saying. And that's why I'll pitch him as number one. Kennedy Japan will probably be my number two of a person who will be bold and speak to whatever he wants to say, considering the threats he's already issued. Alan Chemating maybe will be my number four because he's already started showing signs, except that he has not had the advantage of late resignation. And so that is not helping him. Adaini Mo, I know what they call him is a smooth talker. So maybe he can talk people into it. I'm not sure he's going to condemn so much of government, but he knows how to say his things to get his way through. And then obviously, Efri Yakoto, who was the agri minister, was also or is also a very close friend to His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa.
You see, all these names you are mentioning, I'm still waiting till at what point you mentioned Bawumia. And now, if he is going to lead,
will be my last person.
Well, if he is going to lead, what I want to say is that is going to be a problem for them, isn't it?
Well, that's for the party to decide if Bawumia leading the party is going to be a problem for them, unless they do not care. My analysis is that the polls do not favor Dr. Bawumia. Whatever polls conducted by any institution do not favor Dr. Bawumia as pitched against John Dramani Mahama. It favors more Alan Chemating than Dr. Bawumia. So I want to believe that the party is following the trends. And with me on Good Afternoon Ghana, every time the polls come from Global Info Analytics, I actually put it out. And so people see how the trend is going. It got about 99% correct of the polls conducted on members of parliament before they went to the primaries. So you don't want to ignore. And remember that the polls are conducted within a certain period. After 3 months, it can change. Even 1 month can change things. So you want to see how the trend is going, and then you work accordingly. So maybe the party is considering how the polls are going, and they're working in favor of Dr. Bawumia, or they're working effectively to ensure that they're able to erase maybe some perceptions about Dr. Bawumia. But can they do that? Because we have videos. And on Good Morning Ghana, we've been playing a lot, which doesn't sit well with the party. But you cannot run away from statements that you've made before, even 10 years ago. So, I mean, I'm not sure how he's going to work it out, but it will be tough for Dr. Bawumia. It will be tough.
Annie, tell us, how long have you got for us? Because I know you're a busy girl. How long, how much more minutes will you give us? Because people have raised their hands, and I want to know before I ask people to come in to ask one or two questions.
You can go ahead.
Okay, so, all right. 1099, hello? Hello, 1099, hello? Someone is on the phone, but you are not talking. Hello? Hello? 1099, okay. Right, those of you on Zoom, if you want to say something, kindly raise your electronic hand and I'll let you speak. Okay, Abdul, do you want to ask any question? Go ahead.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Even though I joined late, but I've been
Abdul, speak to the microphone. I can't hear you very well. And introduce yourself and where you are speaking from, so we all know, please.
All right, please. I'm Abdul from Ghana. I have origin, also to be precise. Yeah, even though I joined late, but forgive me, I've been listening to the analysis made by Annie, and it's quite intriguing. I'm following it very well. But I would want to find out from Annie that will she buy into the school of thought who believes that the vote that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia got is not surprising, because all these are government appointees. And they also include members of parliament who will be, I'm hoping to more or less win their primaries and require government support. Again, we're also talking about CEOs who don't want to be asked from their current position. And so they know.
So what is the question? I want the question, please.
So the question is, are the votes garnered by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia not influenced by some of the things that I'm just trying to put out?
Okay.
That we are looking at people who are not ready to sacrifice their position, and so they will have to join the status quo.
Let's put it to her. Annie, Abdullah is asking this question. I think I've spoken about it from the very beginning. Maybe he wasn't here, so we can, excuse that. And that most of these votes Bawumia got is all about the influence that he Bawumia have on their maybe profession, their work or jobs or that sort of thing. You know, being parliamentarians, they have to align themselves.
I want to add a front so that she can tie the two, if I'm permitted.
You want to do what?
Okay, so I want to add another one so that she will tie the two in answering them. And then the second one is, there is this perception, the perception that Northerners are not favored in leading the MPP, and that the government are trying to do everything possible to erase that perception that Northerners can lead, or more or less to say that as for the government, in terms of the president and his appointees, we support Bawumia, but it is either for the delegates, the grassroots, to decide whether they want him to leave or not. Okay, so that is it.
Okay. Annie.
Yeah. Can I come in?
Please go ahead.
Okay, so let me start from the second question that the party doesn't favor Northerners. That definitely, whatever analysis are made and school of thoughts that are churned out as far as politics is concerned, parties don't rule them out. They work on them, they respond to them, and trust me, it will surprise you that for Dr. Bawumia to be a part of the aspirants and seeming to be leading is part of the agenda by the party to erase that perception. So that there are other political marketing analysts who have, Dr. Kubi said that, if you say that the party doesn't favor Northerners, okay, let's agree. Let's put a Northerner to lead the party. After leading the party, let's see if he wins. If he doesn't win, then what exactly is going to happen? Are you going to say that we didn't favor a Northerner? We now will have the chance to tell you that, well, we put a Northerner, you saw how the performance was. So for all you know, it could be a strategy of the party to put a Northerner and prove to you that it's not that we don't favor Northerners, but it's because, well, we've now given a Northerner a chance, and this is the result that we had. So if you understand, it's either way. Either they want to prove to you that a Northerner, has been given a chance, or Dr. Bawumia himself is putting himself up, to break the chains of the Edrume. So now the bit of party officials, party government appointees, making sure that they win, they become favorites of the assumed establishment. It's also cannot be ruled out. I'm sure parties don't rule it out. They deny on air, but they don't rule it out. They do everything to tell you that, it's not true that we're trying to whip people in line. It's not true that the vice president is benefiting from incumbency advantage. So you hear them say things like, even the vice president bought a bus, organized the bus, on the campaign trails, all officials sit in the bus. He doesn't use his V8. He doesn't use government vehicles, trying to sway your views that he benefited from, incumbency advantage. So also with government officials, the government will do everything to tell you that, well, we are not trying to do anything. But political intelligence should tell you that definitely if you are seen as an MP who didn't vote in the direction of the incumbency choice, you might be at risk. But however, some MPs have taken a risk anyway and didn't vote to the advantage of Dr. Bawumia, voted towards either Alan Chimating or Kennedy Ejapong.
Right. So, okay.
One last question.
Mr. Amachi.
Yeah.
One last question.
Let Mr. Amachi also ask his, because he's been here for a while. Amachi, let's go.
Well, I'll say hello to all of you, your listeners, and everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, but
don't forget, I've got a guest. Good morning, Ghana presenter Annie Ampafo. She is the guest on the program. So
yes, but
you have a question for her.
Oh no, I'm just budging now. So
okay, that's fine. Then stay there. Let's finish with her. Then we can come and do general discussion.
Finish with let's finish with her.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Abdul, what did you wanted to add quickly?
Okay, so let me add that quickly. And you asked Miss Annie in terms of corruption that's attached to the presidential hopes. Which of them should go for? And she was coming out with a list. But surprisingly, let me say, I'm not surprised she maintained Bawumia as the last person. Well, I want to ask, can it not be seen that amongst all, Bawumia will be the one who will be able to more or less clean up the mess or cover up, let me put it this way, cover up the mess Nanado has created for the economy, for the country, the image of the country, and that kind of thing. He's like the one who can be remotely controlled and do the bidding of Nanado when he leaves power. And that is why they are doing all these things for him, to maintain him or to make sure he leaves the party, and subsequently, God forbid, if he wins power.
Okay. Annie.
I'm sorry, I'm having some interference and phone calls. I'm not in the position of saying that Dr. Bawumia will be covering up corruption. I can rather say that he may try to evade it because, of course, he was part and parcel of the government in his capacity as vice president. To today, Dr. Bawumia has not, on one occasion, even responded to any of the comments he made when he was in opposition. Maybe I would say because he's not made himself available for these questions to be put to him, because if he does, you can imagine how many questions media personnel will bombard him with, especially with the economy, on borrowings and, how the management of the economy itself has been. But if he's giving the chance to rule Ghana, it will definitely be a long haul for the people, because the question will be, what differently are you going? Because it's your economic strategies that brought us here. We've had the Russia-Ukraine war explanation. Currently, we're having to deal with the Bank of Ghana issues. And aside that, what else are you going to say that's going to be different? Are you going to say that we're not going to borrow? Because in one of the videos I've been playing on the show, he said that, well, when he said that we shouldn't borrow, doesn't mean that every government, you will not borrow at all. But you have to borrow, you have to do smart borrowing, as he puts it. So Dr. Bawumia is going to continue engaging in smart borrowing should he become president. It's not going to change. However, maybe sometimes our point is not the borrowing. Our point is, what are we putting the money to? If we collect taxes, what are we putting the money to? Are we putting it to what we said we're going to do? Some of the decisions have been quite illogical. So, for example, you have a country that's struggling as we are struggling. We have tolls that we're collecting money from, but at some point, with some hot air decision, the minister decides to shut down the tolls. It was not approved by Parliament. This minister was not punished in any way, and we're where we are. But we need the small little coins that we're collecting at the tolls, okay? But is Vice President, as a president, going to condone that should he be president? Maybe not. Because we all know the relationship with the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the roads minister, Mr. Chum. So maybe he was not punished because of the relationship between himself and the president. How about Dr. Bawumia? Would he do such activities as president? It might be a little different. So I cannot really say he's going to cover up corruption activities. Neither can I say that he's going to condone and entertain them, because it's possible that
can
his
we
leadership might be different.
Can we safely assume that his presidency is going to be quasi-continuation, as such? But before you answer, I know it's time for you to go. Let me ask you.
Definitely, it's going to be quasi-continuation.
In a broad.
I really want to.
Let me ask you broadly. Let me ask you so that you can, Annie. Let me ask you so you can add all together and we can. Broadly speaking, let's say now head-to-head NDC, NPP. Given that, in fact, most of these polls by Info Analytics and others, given the feeling in town, when I say in town, in Ghana generally, in fact, I've seen the clip of that Fanti Cape Coast Mama Munkrofo giving it very loud as to yem break it, blah blah blah, those kind of things. Given all that sentiments, how do you see, if you are an NPP person, you are with them or you are inside the circle, how are you going to convince Ghanaians that, look, even though whatever negativities that happened prior to 2017 or during Mahama's time, that negativity has been multiplied maybe tenfold this time, but still we are better. How do you, weigh up that, how do we call it? I mean, balance the equation here. How do you think the NPP are going to do when it comes to face-to-face with NDC? And they are talking about all the issues we all know. How will they still convince Ghanaians that they are still better?
How will they still convince Ghanaians? They are doing it now. They are actually still doing it now. By still appearing on programs they represent. They tell you why they think that the NDC is just being propagandists. You ask if it's going to be any MPP leader, is going to be a quasi MPP government or continuation of this administration. I'll say yes. Yes, because it's still the same party. Yes, because the party's ideologies have not changed. Yes, because the party has a manifesto. It's giving you a tagline, break the 8. Breaking the 8 means that we want to break that tradition of 8 years each party. And they want to continue by not breaking the 8, but continuation. And so they want to break the 8 tradition by continuing. So it definitely will be a quasi governance of what we're experiencing today. However, there definitely will be certain level of changes, a little tweak here, a little tweak there, because parties have camps, and with persons you work with, ministers, members of parliament, appointees, CEOs, the party leaders, new leaders will make changes. It's like the NPP itself appointing its own new chairman, new secretary, new youth organizers, you would see that if you go to the party office, things have changed. So it will definitely have some changes, but it's not a breakaway, absolutely, from the current administration.
So as NFM, we go from the extreme, pretty and extreme, how do I say it, quality, and the top there to the extreme down. When we finish this, I'm going to speak to someone. Apparently, his tag is gang leader. He apparently was one of the guys who was accused of kidnapping Canadian girls. Today, he's going around telling anyone who will listen that the NPP people owes him money or something. I'll interview him, so that will be later on after Annie. Annie, before you go then, belatedly from my own personal, what we call it, part, I'm wishing you a belated birthday, and to say that, the people born in August are only second to we the people born in September. You are not bad.
I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. We're second to none.
And so my producer is asking me when you come to London so that we will sit you in front of our television screen to produce a program for us. When are you coming to London?
I hate to go and queue for visas. That's one thing I don't like.
You see, Annie, the more you talk, the more I see the Pan-African. Look, I would have, just to go and visit is okay. But how the whole of Africa, everybody wants to run from the south to the north. Our leaders, let's talk a bit of geopolitics. Our leaders must sit up as if there's nothing happening. ECOWAS is more interested, we haven't even spoken of that. ECOWAS is more interested in going to reinstall a deposed president instead of asking questions. Why are our youth running away from us, even risking everything? Everything, they know they can die easily, and yet they are running because their homelands are not good enough for them. Why are our leaders how do I say? I mean, they don't seem to know what is happening? Or what do you think is going on?
I don't think that they don't know what's happening. They know what's happening. They're just being selfish. That's the word. I think they're just being selfish. They know what's happening. It's not enough to tell the youth that stay in your country and work. It's not enough. It's not enough to tell your people that let's have democratic tendencies and enjoy democracy. It's not enough. You have to work your talk, as they say. You have to work your talk. Whatever you say we should do, you have to work it.
Sure.
It's possible to be a democratically elected president but still be carrying out coup activities. It's very possible.
Yes.
I think that people are only seeing coup to be when the military picks up the gun and then move a democratically elected, leader out of power. But democratically elected leaders are not seeing that when we're giving you the money for the roads and you spend it, that's cool. For your personal gain, that's cool. They're not seeing that when we give you money for the hospitals and you double the cost of the construction, that's cool. They're not seeing that when elections are conducted, democratic elections are conducted, and people are murdered, and leaders refuse to say anything about it, much less even console families. That's cool. How long do you think that people will continue to sit and watch you do that? So as much as you want to condemn coup, you want to watch your back, because it's really not that simple. It's not. I think I wrote on my Facebook wall a few days back that Africa is getting lit. I'm not saying it's getting lit because there's fire on the mountain. No, I'm saying it's getting lit because I think that they're seeing the light. To the extent that today, in those days, if you carried out coup, everybody rises up to condemn it. But today you carry out coup and the people are excited and they're jubilating on the streets or in the streets of whichever country carries out the coup.
Who would have thought?
And that's how
who would have thought, honey?
You
are a bit grown to know this, but we were in the thick of affairs those days. And we thought these things are now gone and, it won't come back. But it looks as if the appetite, especially in the civilian folk, is still there. What I want to ask again is that the leadership on the continent, really, I don't know, when you say, okay, maybe they are aware, but they are being reckless, or I think they are not clever enough. Because if you are, you will know that in the end, we lose together, no matter how much you spend on hospitals abroad.
It's the reason why I use the word selfish. Sometimes selfishness, greed, and carelessness take the place of knowledge and intelligence. So those elements have gotten you so blind that you're not able to see the end effects. And that's what our African leaders are suffering. They're not able to see.
They are not able to see. Look, it has gotten so bad that some people who I thought, people I believed would have, Annie, people would have, I thought would have been very straightforward or be clever about things, they've also started fumbling. The other tab on your program, this is just a little bit of gossip. Honorable Kujato was almost siding with the other fellow that they need to send nurses abroad and that sort of thing. I was thinking he is the one who should say that, should insist that, okay, we are not against the individual trying to go and better his or her life somewhere, but the policy shouldn't be making it easy for them to go. Rather, we have to build more hospitals. We have to create the job that people can do and earn good living. This is what I wanted Okujato to say. But rather, he was, in fact, I wrote my long protestations, but I think you didn't see it already. But that's a bit of gossip. Listen, I will thank you big time. And like I will still ask that anytime you come to London, we will try and sit you in front of our TV. It's not bad. It's not as beautiful, as grand as you have it there in Accra. But we can say we have something small so that you can broadcast something for us. Will you at least provisionally agree to that?
Provisionally, yeah. If nobody puts me in a long queue for visa.
We hope Annie Amfafo will get a visa just like that. Listen, have a good evening and take a look after yourself.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Right, so that was Mansa Musa with Annie Amfafo of Good Morning Ghana Metro TV program there. NCBS Misako Ghana na mene Urebia Osino a gang leader. Canadian girls na kidnap on late first ni yensi okaho e 3 year release ni yensi onkaho. See your name and who's your name Captain Smart credit dinkomo. And I'll be going there to talk to him. But mintie Amachi the ondenam Ansana Marco Accra. Mr. Amachi.
Yes, Mansa Musa. Michia who near TFO once again, and in Edward Babion will be down. I'm Mr. Kofi Ali, maintain and catch you. Oh,
I am in any didn't come up privately.
Hello.
Kofi Ali, oh.
Wow, line breaking up, Kakra. As a breaking visa.
Okay, what do you mean, cafe?
A call now, but
what do you mean, cafe?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. What do you mean, car? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. What do you mean, car?
Oh. I feel a kokura. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
What do you mean, car?
I feel too, but when a kokura.
Right. Me tiatia munsu. What do you mean, car?
I feel a betunga. But if a kokura, a besana.
Okay, what they kasa? So what do you mean, Kandia kasa? Hello. So what do you mean, Kandia kasa? Okay, Fatu Sunasa Frey.
Okay.
Right. Yes, that was a very, very, very important, very good conversation with. I'm trying to go to Kumasi to go and speak to this gentleman to see if he's ready to have a chat or discussion with us. A friend of Mr. Seidu Abubakar, Mubekaya, some time ago, you see some Canadian girls be a kidnap or mono. Apparently, you see now, Ubia him story, no. Ubia him story, no. And I won't waste your time at all. Say Abubakar Basu no ye or Obape, ye baby this uncle. Hello, Amachi.
Yes.
After what you can you? Okay,
I said we last me buy na me say come bisana me fear. Sa asem na okruja to kan no. A state no e benefit bibi e free. And for no a ye de omo ba ha so me adwuma no.
I wouldn't know for that one. So investigation they mean yeah, but the benefit I say the benefit I say in Crawford your friend saying nurses enguwa omuguwa kwa send ye winya baby now the connection so we are buying and just was sumajo. That is the whole thing. That's the only benefit I think. Apart from I don't know, but mem says our benefit in the penny or
what countries with the Philippines. Philippines, 1 more years hardly away from years. Government, recruitment, as it's in the cost war. Government, was can be all different. As a Nipana Baha, overdo a plan on the BBN was Satia Juma. It is sad no who no another. Anybody go on or Mangatanga or more bra, no moon, and Yanuma Yetino. A being called and walk and was one.
Well.
Mansa Musa,
yes, sir.
I said, me Macron, me be Macron and Noah. Macron can come with assembly of France war. Say if I know, say you. What's some part or kind of. But you see, Mansa Musa, because yes, sir, Unipa over sorry now, dear Bachina, Ujina Honia Tamu, who finished soon one year to walk with Haim. See, do what you ever be Sanwa. I said, Ubisa was a quite many fast. I do first moon sana original because when people be on your wood one or we are answer 190. Your woonipa be was as or we are answer 190. Young woonipa and was as 190. Say, but that something is wrong somewhere. That is the problem I face. My was here. Sesia abrofono baby a oma be drew near omo fa mu nyina no omo fa wa tini nyina agu ana obe gina baby say baby omo gina no yansu yan jump into the podium and dance with them anya adwuma sa Macron ejina hockey can sem bi na sa asem we say no African leaders to omo ti wotie sante sa sem bi atwitwa mu from 18 something no mu ni ade nyina no na well that is not how you're funny saying. Nimudia actually and say now there has been good since been good to Africa. Some been good to Africa. Akwa when the Bejan will apologize on behalf of France. Say Niamo ma yina yam forgetting money at the yam to baby no money. But apologize here. It comes to the package last time because after package you know why? Now I go for to say they are all over, they are on the street. I want to see they are ready to die for it. Go away. What is your problem? Nasadi will say no. Who can't work me? Mansa Musa, do a beer. Me share this here. And my Katia makes me from. Share a party super delegate in here. The idea when you know, and no American was a say, what flat who you obia aya afamwa go do baby no. Na wa feel also be joining no more joining now ni omo kwa. Kan hu se hu nua no nyina ka kire ho. Nti omo nua no mo ka kire ho no wo mo yadan. Super delegate. There is super delegate. Hwe obi a wa firi ase wa firi abrabo ase. Se ofiri na kura ase. Ofiri na kura ase. Se oba be pesika okrom. Oba nipa na obeto no a wo the shop ni ade nyina a wo friends so me de bra na be ya adwuma ma me o ya adwuma ni etua ne ka o de tu ne bottom shop no wura ne de wa be bo ne bra wa nya ne shop eti se edura nyumre nse bia okuta ka bi na ofa ne tena mu se yenko na pa bo bi ho yenko ni yenko ji ani a se obeka so onko onko because says kakra na wanya no okọ ebesa eso on suti body bra wodi ne kakra class na wo utumi enya shop ne bia na wo ko wanim wo pedam bi asia na afei wa join this class no na ye ne fast one ne one super delegate so hu nipa sika an kofo ko say no sika an kofo ko say ho say no say ejesi akitwa
it's a problem p SMP
say who ko ka say it would a bit taking nipa bi with arms ni aba be sisa ne ma ya see why who inside ayi say nkofo enkoyeku but sometimes no sa na say ko no omuti wo obi a be kan no aka ne brofu bia na okọ obi a be kan no aka ne brofu bia na okọ enko akuti da be obi sisa ayi mu amoka no kure no ukoka na amafo tietie mu ni e tag you ni e do fa I mean what if the power from na me samra
amachi me dasi bebre right amachi na motini nkano ne bu afu Macron pi me twen say Mr. Seydou Abubakar ebefa phone last time I say monam a year kwan so and you know I still believe that it may be still our more year now say but well he agreed to speak to me tonight and so be koswa na mo was zoom no obi ka otimi ma onsaso na otimi ba me ye din komo any general discussion about the MPP for omo election we can say primaries no akoso eja amachi kan ska omo kotuatua ani ade odwen de ekoso nyina ho a super delegate Ghana for is your super delegate you know the so shempa just say Kreja pon mu nyina nya president of the Africa na apro see eje mu na eka because enya de be say people who are not clean they are just able to Mr. Amensham Sawonsa doctor Amensham Sawonsa was so be can be bia video
General
yeah Mansa Musa
Sorry, why not?
Obiso Kasao.
Okay, now microphone or from Tinamente. But when I also, I don't know. Why na Kasabium? Hey Abdul. Abdul, ma Ambrose Kasawi, ma Ambrose sun Kasaka Crane in the bar. Ambrose Yanko.
Yeah, Mansa Musa, Matinia more can be ready. The baby one away, is it Annie or Sabote?
Annie Ampofu, your friend or Sabote.
Annie Ampofu, okay, Annie Ampofu from Metro TV. Yeah. The all can be brain and be brain on a man in the yard, but baby one a man in the yard. Okay, no, you sue research or posed by info analytics, so I cannot. But on baby one a many posts no and also no in an watching in terms of na or expect to say Alan na a bedi say you can see a routine in terms of first, second, and Alan should be the second person. Because the reason why Americans are not say one, Alan has lost touch with the grassroots. That is one. Most of the youth, about 90% of the youth are no follow Alan during the first time. No, Alan was not able to manage them and retain them. They've all left and joined the Kufuado. And most of them, some of them have even been appointed to some various positions. What you say? Or no yet two. Now another issue. Or no yet one of the critical issues. Alan, the human relation is very poor. Having access to Alan, to even have access to Alan is very difficult. The Alan, the human relation is very poor, Mansa Musa. If you, what I saw, we are journalist or now we are presenter. When you are quite on your MPP phone, be out because say Alan, the human relation to say. So I'm not surprised if Biodano, Alan is about to retire from politics because the human relation is good. Having access to him is poor. Now, a banner sounds another area so say in marketing, your researcher say what customers own. Now, Sika, so the 10,000 and a bit you are maintaining one customer. Your customer. It will take you 100 times or 10 times that amount. It says 10,000, about 100,000 to be able to convince another customer from a different competitor. The same thing, and I am on one person for now, near dinner cheek, time or contest for time. No, he was not able to maintain them. The problem, no, now aside that, no, almost 30 or more primaries, no, Alan was not able to invest in the primaries. He was not able to invest in those primaries, because that time, no, now Alan was abandoning. And in the air cost of Bonnie and air cost no, we are part and parcel of those who are committing such rot. And want to be Ankasa. If you fear Benjamin now by Casa, one ain't you. Yeah, they come, what do you call it? Commander Sugar Factory. 7 years in it. What Chawama factory na pro? Now, such a person, no, only Obia make us say, on your well meaning Ghanaian, on your concerned Ghanaian, or Botunaba, Ama Alan say, Omedi party being him say, with the hopes of which you be a president. What do I say? Only another area. Now, what far bit is a Kenya Japan. So be any Kenya Japan or Ghana. Kenya Japan, near my you I'm the big boss. Me, I die in the memo. One, Brofobeka say, only linguistic intelligence. Aside that, no, linguistic intelligence is say, Kenya Japan nim say, sa time we. Anytime I see a cancer assembly, Sabri nye bria or see a cancer assembly. Only sign yansano. Only sign yansano. Na another issue on suye say only kuko you to me the absorb bibia. See, obi say can you pono be president? Now call a class in here to abobona. On my say. Classified data and classified information of the country will be released just to defend himself. He is reckless to the core say such a person cannot lead any organization or even not even organization, let alone a country. Oh, on that sort of intelligence. And in the past, I know over to Abanama, almost to a oh, a challenge this year for quite Papa Bisu, Fedio Noka, and it way no crano, say, will be or to Abama no crano. So now the fear of Benus, why should I, why did I vote for such a person? Then in Yama Brian, they will put a member boss. Now, okay, Cabinet Japan, also no, sir, info and analytics in India. I disagree because one, Cabinet Japan, Nen Sema Walkano. That is the truth. Na party no more cause of mess, now so kind of crane woman. Would they vote for you? They will not, because they want to continue with the rot. And to all kind of crane, one better abanama. I want to mount. Now, winning. I was not surprised. I was not surprised in the sense, one, Omadi Carboni now, so to me, down boss of you. One, most of them are appointees. MPs, so they all want to come back. They'll be going to primaries. They're going for their primaries. And they allegation I want and information I want to say, they call them, they have threatened them, say, even someone information say, you want to vote otherwise, they will ensure you lose your primaries. Aside that, the greedy ones are also voted in that line because of the money incentives in it. But it is alleged, say, we had more than 100,000 Ghana, and also some of them, most of the MPs were given cars each. And be greedy in the idea. Now what changing again? And we Baumiana or no, don't say Obano be continue more rotten. Omo Macanino, Omana compete to me, I Jumano, Cabiano Moasiano. They will not vote for them because they were speaking the truth. Somebody like Cabinet Japan, Nesamo Kenyan was in the right direction. But what the two abandoned and one Cabinet Japan no funny fana banso nambunkum. It's your money in share. What I say now, if I be to say no, or can't be to say, or also can if former minister for energy, finance, watch it. Me today, if you ask me to trust somebody like watch it, I will never. I cannot. Why? At the time, I know why by anyone. No put pressure on him and others. He failed to speak. Even at a point in time, with that basis, or I saw Bekasa, he didn't talk because of our position in the Bekasana. If you out to me Kasai at that time, now. Tabanano, if you are not a finance minister, and a gap in your a man, and I say Nippon or Manuquano, I put as become a beer ban, I kick your ban out. And as all those people know are out of government. You fail to speak. They see another position in your Becasa. Side the same thing, Alan's room. What trap ban for 6.5 years? And just say, yeah, Baba Tuabana, party rules, no crown, HSA, or say, will resign and son will to your contest. Gala would never resign. We would have been a minister and contest. Such a greedy person. What is such a greedy person? I feel what feel mono now because say we and quay. Maybe say me Alan advisor. Kamaka just say don't talk anything about the government. What you say? Who can say be afa aban year or who one? Can you appoint you 6.5 years? We use that to convince Ghanaians. No need as some of and what I said, what I care about, what position the man, portfolio, what did you do? What did you do? I want to say these are some of the problems, but may I will not be surprised. Say, almost second or the young main one, whether there will be surprises. There could be some surprises, but when you say it will ignore to anyone's benefit, but me I will still win.
One thing now, the old I cannot argue with you. Obid is Alan Chermante. He has shot himself in the foot. The same way Awoka Sebuache Jaku should have spoken long ago. No? The same way, you see, nepotism, no, ye subai be still idea politics. We're both sides, NDC and NPP. Oh, meaning sorry. Oh, meaning na university. Oh, no, I'm senior. Oh, no, I'm junior. Oh, ye or law school. That say and one day in ID buya man. Nankanya san kalanchemantin. Enka the SEC nsem fumi kase. Those days rumors be by when cash for seat. Rumors
Cash
no
for seat, yeah.
2017 or 18 cash for seat in the bar no. Sa rumor no buy no rumor no buy so Alan Chemanti have resigned. Who say rumor azan one resigning. Look, this guy Sanka Obia Nenia Bria say me pese me ye president. Jesus Christ, who is a Kufuado? Drop him like a hot potato. Drop him like hot stone. Adebia a share was some Jemu Monko. Nanka who started 2-3 years ago say, hey, send your buying with equi. Send your mind with equi. Ebuseya mu boy, dear na mu ye. In fact, your friend is saying, your friend is the finance minister, in fact, enjoy ye. Ukika sa ni manyina enka position kene Japan wo mu sese no enka ono Alan Chemanti na benya sa position no enso odi no defe odi no Mr Nice Man enimu sere bete odi na o be president edi Ghana for njimi is how anyway
no claim say we bit say Alan time omo appoint no or call vet and whatever mo so any near the way no I say me Alan can I say about a month or two let me use me man to say but within 6 months doesn't call resign wouldn't the reason why make us a Kufuado no omo your minister for trade no mo yi all the agencies under you are sika family na e dey share Jubilee House the office of the president and that was the time I can say Alan should have resigned and made a complaint that this is what you've done so I cannot continue but he failed to do that. He failed to do that. Alan has, which I say, Mansa Musa, one can say, what Alan started in politics. Alan, the constituency way. At least, or more contest in Adina, you will be the area of his Hadi. At least when I speak to people, they will listen. Alan, constituency way. Is it in Kumasi or is it in Central Region way? He has none. Alan has none. So, we politician, that's it. Oh, that's for you cannot win any election. You cannot win. Even internal election, you lose. Because you don't have core people who can even fight for you. When you say Alan has also lost touch with Kufuor appoint about 90%. Are you aware of that? Alan has lost touch with them. Now, Alan, say, no. He has distanced himself from those people. He's on one idea. Are you aware, say, guys are not one of the devoted ones. A guy your friend is saying Bachem4.
Okay.
Bachem4 is your NDC Ashanti Regional Deputy what do you call it? Deputy Secretary. There were some guys me will be no I been me mean massive mechanics. Me facility is class bomb the bomb yon Peter Muchadia. What I say? Almost all of them have moved away. The majority no as I Kufuado. Now they've even awarded them with what do you call it? Ministerial deputy minister position the other day, just to weaken your side. And Alan the time so maybe Alan and we no resource in the buy no cannot go and waste money again because when you go it's going to be disastrous. But we will win and the person which me are challenging kakra Canadian Japan. He is also losing vote because onimu kasa onim ebrea or see a kasa assembly onim bra ebre we dey or say me yedin ebre we dey say me kasa na or kasa so a on dwen say what will be the impact of my message on dwen o kasa bi ansana wa dwen ho na such a person cannot be a good leader, let alone say banabe or babe aspiring a presidential candidate. No. And Alan there or no human relation very poor. Mansa Musa yes our research contact MPP for the business say what is Alan's human relation. Now both say kind of pato. And because of that, most people have distanced themselves from him unless few greedy ones that from Dinechi. But almost drink coffee and almost drink coffee. They all left. And that is a problem. Baumia he is coming. Now he is coming of the mess. And Ghanaian will see the mess. Is it a political economist? No, Adani IT expert. IT, so foundation was built by NDC. So what would be your grounds? What would be your grounds? That is what is happening.
NFM Radio.
Right. In fact, nipa na me twen no. Gang leader no in fact. Na me nim say was sending me message kra entino baby or one no krani wa catch me after the man who message you know. Me so my reply message ni say betimi akasa ochina na say Wednesday. Yenti message or the buy no be who say no krana American.
Mentumi kasa. Me mpanyifo bi na tuo me oluma hu na tuo mentumi kasa. Eba kura wodi oyi ni santi na tuo. Mentumi kasa nti ada right time ya mafrɛ. Why? Interview ndi me ya ma pro. Me kura ba boa me yankasa. Bye.
Right, so that is Mr. Seidu Abubakar. Onuna Mubeka, he was accused of being part of the kidnappers. Anyway, listen, Minya, Dr. Ambrose and Minya Abdullah Goso, Gosi for himself, Munina Ashea Omutie. Now, next I have Francophone Brad, different. Don't be afraid, Sabi, Tambia de Beckham Brofo, see a country. Na yina obi ati ase a yebeka enti ma obi ensuro fere ohene kra na obenya na fa ne bra na yendi nkomo se utini America na jesuma me na ye fa agro no ba wiye
matepa minya pen
you
ye do meba shesha mo muntim se amepa mu ombeje pen na o ma program no tele asia kama no rekoso ana kamsa na fe obiaso atini rekoso ohun ne wo se oye
NFM Radio
no mangana afana tampa fra obiaya na sumje na sele doctor in fact doc aka assembly na leo sifana ba ko a ombo obia ne weak points ne obia ne strength no lead mianga sama safa niwe yura feel hono bana akana mesmeli beka ho e wa bra ne ani edin komono so bisana question bi I think say no oye a bit smart because levi but from the seminar now can I feel say as the name person meet not all dodgy but I'm okay because now I have put her on the spotlight. The man make us say, Baumia, Obia, Akufalo, and then the party machinery, the machinery. Omo ye bibi and so much and the number. Now, Sunday morning, we na what I actually say, Mesa, Nanado now, what creating, and also what cause. Oh, here, Obia. With me a control. Only control Kennedy Japan, your Fanema. Only control Allah, your Manema. Only control Kabla Japan, your Manema. But in show, Sebi Miss America, oh, telling unself for that community party and him. If you hear you be my badia, and then Nanado make us a may pa or make us a levy. That's the danger. With say Omofa Baumia, so me flag bearer. No, Yamin Pungu Bejo minus one. The danger Ghana for if you come enono, but maybe I say and fire and Kohono. Because often we say a Japali, Nanka, Omole Ma, we say, Omotua, I must say, I can't say someone. Sabre will Omokwa, Baumia met Naswa, that a Japali, if you go through. Because I say the young Kufado Mexico. And I Gavi and I call it short. But they are fat. Ubia, maybe you to yes, or nothing like that. And you will go through. So I married the Lira and also Comuya is Sky. It's going to come here. If you don't need to me, no. Baumia, me, I don't know, really. So person will be a flag bearer. But Nkuranhyɛ ɛne nsɛm a Nana Addo ne ne family ne ne group no ɛka ne to n'asom sɛ ɔbɛtumi ambɔ no ama no adi. Ɛno na mma a onye akokoduro bɛtwerɛ sɛ it is possible a nti ɔde bɛyɛ dɛ bɛyɛ ɛde ba out na ɛnyɛ biribi pa bi na ɔba bɛyɛ ama yɛ ɛyɛ sɛ Akufo-Addo bɔ no yɛ wɔde adi Ghana wɔde adi youth no a ɛnɛ ka yɛyɛ ketewa bi a meforo yɛ na metim a meba fie asɛm a boys no bi kaeɛ no yɛ sɛ na nka aba no yɛsɛ kia nso aba bio nka aba no yɛbɛto na soro ne ka kyerɛ sɛ woanto aba no a ɛyɛ mistake ɛna woyɛ because you see our 10% no more can I even want to move. I am better, who did not 10%. You know, it means our boys not them. Has a mom with buy. Our boys not them, papa. Some more can say, women could can better 10%. Now, can wait there and one vote to Grand Carabina and Kawina. If you crash a nation, no can among Cotuaban. No one to tell you one twice, you are not transfer. And I think taxes no over ahodoɔ so sɛ sisi no nti no yɛn nipa ba biara na Akufo-Addo pɛ sɛ ɔyɛ ma ɔman ɛna yɛn sɛ bi a wɔhu bibi soronko bi wɔ bawomia mu sɛ ɔde ne yɛ dɛmɛ ɛde ɛbrɛ ɔman amana bɛbɛ sɛ ɔbɔ sɛ ɔno aka sɛ ɔno wɔde bi so afei Ghanafoɔ na the next leader no ɛba abɛtoto nneɛma yie no nyɛ saa nneɛma yie no sɛ dɛ ebi a ɛyɛ adwene yɛyɛ no nyɛ saa na wɔhu nneɛma yie no yɛ sɛ nneɛma bi a na nka ɔde go through and go through and no one sem no work you go catch say tisika so the common tisika so a common na is of no ye bi and no no ka say common no if you no one have to say on ka say asem no bi if you meet to me no let me say the idea of Akufo-Addo say to just dissipate the countries conference and then make sure the country become ungovernable. So in case of Yana, I don't know your money here. It won't be yes, but you know, Mama can I said, music and number on mission. That's it. Canon on mission. Senior, this more super delegate conference of the Congress on Koya, Saka, you miss no. But you can trust the delegates also because to the people that credit, I think it's a percentage wise, about 0.49%. And you will hear the Parodo of Akufo-Addo, the more will the Kotu-Ambana. The larger picture, no, it can be different from the University, but trust me, in spite of all the difficulties, and I say, we can other other aspirants, still, but we may carry the day on November 4, and I will not be surprised.
Abdul, yeah, but that was a bebree, and you may, yeah, that's it.
I'm ready to the best, and we have to keep leave of you now, watching a program.
Yeah, that's it, baby. Yo, adianchi. Bye bye.
Bye.
Right, so we will end it here for tonight. Thank you all very much. Mutiefi baby, those of you in the US and elsewhere. And big thanks go to Aniam Pofu of Metro TV in Ghana. She hosts the television program Good Morning Ghana and Good Afternoon Ghana as well. Clever girl like that. And ɔno na ɔba bɛkyerɛkyerɛ yɛn mu NPP for ɔmo primaries no deɛ ɛkɔ so ne ɛbaeɛ nyinaa meda mu nyinaa ase nyame yɛ adom a ɔkyena yɛbɛsan abɛtoa so. Have a good night. Have a good night.
Show.